Because this is what's real, and I think this is what people actually are probably could really relate to. And we'll get to some things maybe that you felt very empowered by maybe in the last 3 months, if there's been some great things that have happened from this whole situation. But you know, but I agree that during this time, like, I feel it to myself as a business owner, small business owner out there working hard. I chose to work during this time, and I sometimes feel like that is a very powerful choice that I got to make. Some people didn't get to make that choice to actually go to work during this time, but I got to make that choice, and I chose to work hard during this time, and just connect with clients. And I see that as a really silver lining, actually, like connecting with people right now, even though we can't hug them like we're huggy people, right? Like we were talking about,
Well,
but
exactly, exactly. And I'm telling people that, okay, when I knock your elbow, we bump elbows. That is really a super huge grizzly
yeah.
bear giant hug.
Totally. And I
Just
know,
know in my head, that's what's really happening. Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah.
it is, I have sometimes felt like I've been running this marathon as a sprint, and I'm not sure, but yeah, so this emotional exhaustion, definitely there's this weariness. I've heard other people being talking about this right now, of all the last few months, and like you said, emotional exhaustion from everything that's going on. I don't think it can be more real than that, and probably everybody can relate to that on some
Yeah,
level.
I think we've got the emotional exhaustion,
Yeah,
and as I said earlier, I think we're really mourning,
grieving. Yeah,
grieving and
yeah,
mourning our previous life that we had designed, and that we were living the way that we wanted to be living, and we loved it. And we liked, we had people, and we hugged. Well, me anyways, I hug everybody, and I hugged a lot. And human touch, I think, is something that a lot of people
yeah.
weren't getting enough of before,
Right.
but now we're all being cut off, and I think that can do a lot of strange things to your psyche. And when we have days, I think almost everybody I've talked to has had some days here and there. We just don't all want to have it on the same day, but here and there, we'd be really bad if we all had it on the same day. But
Yeah,
I think we've all had days where we're teary, and not for
yeah,
any particular reason.
totally.
Yeah,
It's,
not for any particular reason. Just you wake up one morning and you go, I just don't even want to get out of bed. I just, kind of thing.
yeah,
And it's tough. I've been finding that when I was working out hard, because I thought, okay, well, if we're going to do this,
yeah.
still working through the whole thing, we're going to lose weight as we're going through, and you have all these major goals. Yeah, well, that hasn't happened. We had ice cream cake this morning, so in the
Cake.
office. So,
Yeah.
yes,
The
yeah.
brownie. I had the brownie, you had the cake.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, all healthy choices for first thing in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah. You froze a
But
little.
yeah, I think it's something that we need to talk to each other, and not just put our heads down. Some people have just made the decision not to work, and that's what's working for them.
Mm,
We've been very, very fortunate. Stephanie and I made the decision that we were going to keep working all the way through, and we are so fortunate that our business is a very large percentage of our business is previous clients and referrals. So we're still getting referrals coming in. We're still working with buyers. We're still listing homes. And as I said, we're very fortunate that way, that we actually had a pretty good April,
yeah,
you,
that's
you
awesome.
know, and a good May, even if it wasn't a global pandemic. But
Mm,
we've been working really hard to make those things happen. And so you've got even more of an exhaustion happening there, because you can't do all the things the way that we used to do them.
right. There's a lot of, yeah, probably a lot of things, because you can't just go to the open house and do the open house the way you've always done. And you can't, yeah, like all of those things, you have to almost change some of the systems. Like, okay, so just share with whoever's watching, you're 20, how many years in business?
33.
Oh, why do I always think it's like 28 or 27?
Because
I've
I'm
lost
only 39. That's why you figure I can't
I just
possibly
look,
be.
you look
Yeah,
so
yeah,
absolutely
it can't possibly be more than 30 years.
33 years in business. So you have an amazing clientele, and but you probably have, I know your business well enough to know that you have some systems in place at this point, right? So you had to adjust and tweak some of those things for sure. And that's probably contributing to some of that. Like you gotta really think about the things that were on autopilot before.
Exactly, because you could
right?
go
Same
into,
goes.
you can do things without even really thinking and say things, and because you've said it, when you're explaining the your knives and the different utensils and things, you can do that in your sleep pretty much, right?
Yep. But
Yep.
I had to revamp like all of my presentations canceled. Pretty much I had 22 scheduled. Thank God I have a beautiful database like you, lots of clients, and we work through referral, repeat. I just started calling clients because all of my presentations at first canceled, and then I started to rebook virtually. But I learned I had to basically revamp my whole presentation to adapt to the virtual world. So, and now, but it's been a really good gift because I've been giving a different kind of message, and I really like it on what we could be doing at this time to empower ourselves as business owners, like doing the things, right? 10 past client calls a day, loving on your people, showing gratitude. I'm sure some of the things that like, did you, did you reach into some of your database? Like, did you sort of make some proactive, like, did you do some things for yourself that felt empowering in your business to reach out to your clients or deepen relationships or do anything like that during this time?
We actually did, and one of the cool things that we did, that we just because we care about our clients,
Yeah.
and so we started calling, making calls out to clients, and people that have been thinking of doing something or whatever, and we just called, and not to necessarily to get them to do business or to do
Yeah.
business with them, but just to
Yeah.
touch base with our clients to say, how are you? Are you doing okay?
Yeah.
You know, like what's happening with you? What are your stresses? Is there anything we can do to help you? Never mind real estate, let's just, what can we do as human being to human being, what can we do to make this easier for you? and
Beautiful.
and people, I think, really appreciate that you're not just, okay, well, I think it's time to list your house, or
Oh,
whatever. It's simply a, how are you? And how are you and your family holding up? Is there anything that you need? Is there anything that we can do to help you? And I think people have really appreciated that. And it's opened up, it's been really cool, is that it's opened up a lot of dialogues with people that we haven't talked to in a long time. And they say, well, actually, this and this. And, you know, we have one client who said, oh, well, actually, I've been laid off from my job because of the whole COVID thing. And I don't know if they're not doing well. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back or not. And so she started up a side business. She's selling this really cool nail polish. I thought, hey, my nails always look really horrible. So sure, so you know what we did? You know what we did?
what?
So really cool. We now have in our office a nail station. So we've
Oh,
got all this nail stuff to, so our whole staff can change out. Yeah, so you can come over and visit us anytime you like.
Teri-Ann, you, so I don't know if we should broadcast this all over social media, but you have a nail station thing in your office. You have an
Uh-huh.
amazing assistant. You have an amazing like daughter who works with you,
Yeah.
and you have a punching bag. So anybody like in the back there, right?
Yep. Yep. And anybody, I mean, really, what else could you possibly need? And some people are addicted to drugs and alcohol and that kind of thing. I'm addicted to tea. So we have every type of tea known to mankind. David's Tea loves me. They call me. They actually phone call me and let me know when things are coming on. And so we have a tea station as well, so that there is whatever anybody's thinking they might like for tea, we've got it.
I'm coming over right now.
I think you should.
Well, I
In
think we
fact,
should, when this whole thing, yeah, we should definitely.
instead of tea, I think we need wine then.
Okay. Well, I mean, yes. Are you drinking wine yet? It's 4 o'clock on a Friday.
Not yet. No, I've actually got tea.
Good for you. Well, is there anything, so part of why I'm doing these little snippets with my favorite freaking people, and
So,
is because, well, I just have felt compelled during this time to reach out to people who I know run not only beautiful businesses, but are beautiful, amazing humans that, and just reach out to realtors and have them contribute to the industry. Or, I'm thinking of this as how we can empower ourselves and other entrepreneurs out there. And so is there any other one thing that, and we didn't rehearse this, we don't even know what I'm asking.
I do not.
Is there
No,
any,
I'm sitting there going, okay, think, Teri-Ann, think.
yeah, we can talk, we can
What is
talk.
where is she going with this? Yeah.
Well, any other one thing, I think you did share actually one of the major things for me that if somebody asked me what's one thing that I did during this time to, you know, empower myself. in my business and in my life was really reaching out and connecting, like being proactive and reaching out to my clients. So on the business side and being like, how can I help? Do you need anything? And this doesn't have to be about the knives. Like, if you need something, we're there for you. We can get it for you. But like, how are you? Do you need toilet paper? Like,
we've got lots. Here we go. Yeah.
Okay, here's my question, actually. Unless you have one other empowering thing you want to share that you did.
I actually do. I do. So do you want to do your question first or my thing first?
Do your thing first, and I'll ask you the last question, and then we can wrap it up.
Okay, super. You had mentioned when you asked me to book this, if I had one piece of wisdom to share with other realtors, and I gave that a lot of thought, and I said, okay, wisdom. What do I have these days that I'd like to, and I think I came up with something, and I hope you think this is okay. Is this too shall pass? Mm-hmm. That phrase has gotten me through so many things throughout my entire life. A lot of people think that when there's something bad that's happening, that's when they use this too shall pass. But whether we're having something, I think really for realtors, especially because we're in a very volatile industry that things can be up and down and there's no even keel anywhere in sight, especially not right now. But whether we're in a very, very challenging time, like what we are right now, 2020, just in total, all we need is that plague of locusts, and I think we've got all the bases covered here.
Murder hornets. That's it.
Murder hornets are as close to the plague of locusts, and I think we pretty much got it covered. There you go. But so this will pass. So I've been doing this for 33 years now as a realtor in Calgary, but also, like the last 3 months of 2014, that was an insane, we couldn't keep up. There just weren't enough hours in a day. People would call and say, I want to buy a house. And you go, I'm sorry, I don't have time to work with you.
Sell it to you. Yeah.
It was crazy. It was so busy and values were going up so quickly. And it was just, and every deal, every property had multiple offers on it. And it was just crazy. But we did really well. We had huge sales and huge numbers in 2014. Mm-hmm. And so what I can think the wisdom that I'd like to impart is that no matter what's happening, whether it's a challenging market like what we're in right now with 2020, whether it's a really hot market or anything in between, this too shall pass. So whatever it is, the only constant is change. So whatever it is only going to last for a certain period of time. So I think the most important thing is whenever we're in any type of a market, Stephanie and I always look at things and figure out, what can we learn from what's happening right now? How can we improve what we do based on what's happening right now? And how can we better serve our clients with what's happening right now? And so whether it's active or whether it's slow or whether it's challenging or whatever it is, how can we improve ourselves and take something from it? I have an extremely intelligent father who brought me up with the idea that whenever I was excited about something, he'd be negative, he'd be down on it. And if I was down on something, he'd bring up the positives. And I said, Dad, can't you just once be on my side, kind of thing. But he said, no matter what happens in life, he said, if something negative happens, if you can look deep into that, find one thing that you can learn from it, that's something that you can use in your life and learn from it, then all of a sudden you've turned that negative event or time in your life into something positive. So it does not have to remain as a negative event, because you've learned something from it, and what you've learned will help to make you a better servant for your clients, help you to serve them better, and make you a better person overall to family, friends, and everybody. Does that make sense?
This is a beautiful piece of wisdom. Like, I couldn't have said it both from you and your dad. Like that.
He's pretty cool.
That is perfect. Like, I couldn't even say it's about embracing what is. To me, it's about how can I learn, and given what is, that I can't change what's outside of me. So what can I control? For me, I've seen it. For you, like, I love the quality question of like, how, what can we do so that we are empowered even like now and in the future, and turn this into a positive given what we can't control. And I actually have been sharing with people that I feel the silver lining for me has been that I do feel driven that this is such a special opportunity. Like in a crazy busy time, I have less time to connect with my clients on a deeper level. Like you and I wouldn't be having this conversation if it was so busy that we couldn't even turn ourselves around. And, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yep. No, I know exactly what you mean.
so I get to connect more deeply and do these things that, you know, maybe I don't always have time to do. So that's one piece that I've taken, but I love the wisdom and, you
Thank you.
know,
See, you though, Vonnie, you've taken this where a lot of us are going, okay, what's next and what can we do and what can I learn from this and everything else. But what you've done is you are such a gift to those of us to everyone who knows you.
oh,
You've taken this, you're talking to different people, you're asking for just a snippet of a word of wisdom or something that we'd like to impart to other people. And then you're sharing these things. And I want to thank you so much for you being you. You're an amazing person, Vonnie.
oh,
And know that I value you so much and I really appreciate having you in my life, because you have a different way of looking at things and you say, yeah, okay, this is what we're going to do. And then you just make it happen. You don't just say, yeah, that'd be cool. You actually say, okay, boom, yeah, this is what we're going to do. And you make it happen. And there's not that many people that do that. So kudos to you for being you. You're a pretty special person.
thank you. And I, you know, I feel so compelled to, I was gonna just gush on you for a while, and now you've gushed on me in such a genuine, authentic way. So I want to just receive that before like, oh, back to you and how great you are. But thank you. I mean, it means a lot because I look up to you a ton, and anybody that knows me and knows you probably doesn't know how close we have been. As like, I met Teri-Ann, I met you at my first trade show for Cutco Closing Gifts back in the
Yeah,
day, first Remax
that was
show.
a long time ago.
It was, and you saw the spreaders and you're like, how much are those? And we worked out something for you. And since then, I feel like you have been one of the relationships that I've developed in the industry that I'm most proud of, that you are my favorite. I've referred people.
Oh, thank
You're
you.
one of my truly favorite people. You know this because I gush on you
Right
all the
back
time.
at you.
I love you. I love what you do with your clients, how you run your business. I've always admired it. I feel connected to you in a way that, like, you know, we have similar values. We run our business in similar ways. And we always have incredible conversations too about clients, travel, you know, they're real, like, you know, that we ate a brownie this morning, an ice cream cake, and you went and punched the bag and I, you know, whatever. So it's very real. And I really appreciate, and you were one of the first people I thought, I'm like, I really, speaking of putting something in action, I wanted to do these sorts of talks to great people. And I was like, Teri-Ann, I think she would do this with me. So thank you.
I would do anything with you. You are, if you say, hey, Teri-Ann, let's go do this or go do that or whatever, you know,
Okay.
I'm all in. Or just,
My
hey,
crazy ideas.
yep, you don't even have to tell me what it is. If Vonnie's suggesting it, I'm all in. It's just a perfect thing to do. I know you just wanted a short snippet, but can I talk about that? I got that client who told me, like I said, Stephanie and I send a lot of stuff out to all our clients. We send like different times through the year,
Yeah,
and
really
all of our
good.
clients,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. All of our clients have tons of stuff that say Teri-Ann and Stephanie Bejan on it, like everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And so I got a call from a client and who said, Teri-Ann, my wife and I would like you to come and list our house. I had sold them the house and a few years earlier, and they said, we're ready to move to a bigger house. So I said, great, no problem. And he said, do you want to know how I got your number? And I'm thinking, well, you should have many ways of having my number at your house. But I said, yeah, you should have a lot of stuff that has my number on it, but sure, how did you figure it out? He said, yeah, we have all kinds of stuff. But the first thing I thought of was that amazing knife that you gave me when we took possession of this house. So he said, I ran to the kitchen, and he said, because my wife and I were sitting in the dining room, we were talking about this, and I ran to the kitchen and I got the knife and I brought it back with the phone. And so I actually had the knife in front of me and I'm looking at this as I'm calling you.
He's like calling with a knife.
With a knife in his hand. And I thought that was pretty cool. So I said, well, that is awesome. So there's no way that we have any clients who take possession, either have bought their new home or have sold their home, even if they're moving out of the city or whatever else, every single one of our clients gets a Cutco knife. And that Bonnie has in the midst of a big basket that has wine and glasses and the salsa, chips, chocolates, cookies, popcorn, all that kind of stuff, and a Cutco knife right in the front with the box that says Cutco on the front. And then I explained that to them, especially about the service plan, that they can get all their knives sharpened and all that stuff for free. But so with that one, with those clients, I listed their home for $1 million.
Yeah.
I sold them a $2.5 million home.
Wow.
Which was great. Would they, if they didn't have the knife, would they have found something else that had my number on it? Of course they would have. But what's really cool is that the very first thing that they thought of
was the knife.
They had tons of stuff with my name and number on it, but the first thing they thought of was the knife, ran to the kitchen, got the knife, and made the call holding the knife kind of thing. So I just thought that was really cool. I want to share that with you, Bonnie.
It's funny. I love that you told that story, because I remember you telling me that a long time ago, probably in a little less detail. And I remember writing it. I was like, oh, can I use this as a test? And it's so cool to hear you share it, like on video in your own words, rather than me writing it down. And some pieces of it I didn't even know. So exactly that they were holding the, you know.
Oh yeah. So I mean, it was just perfect. So yes, they would have gotten a hold of me anyways. But the thing that came first and foremost to their mind was the knife. And so that to me said it all right there, is that they're going to eat and drink everything else out of the basket.
Yeah.
And but this is something that's going to last them forever. They will never get rid of it. Even though I always offer the free sharpening, nobody ever takes me up on it because the knives never get dull. They stay sharp forever. So, but I thought, yeah, but it's pretty cool. But you sell a beautiful product there, and you make us look good, and we really appreciate that, Bonnie.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
That too. Let's stop the recording at least here.
Okay.
Right.